Welcome, everybody, to the first edition, the first episode of The Casual Bartender. For those of you who are just joining for the first time, this is a brand new venture, a brand new operation. It used to be called the Quarantine Happy Hour, but we're taking it in a new direction, and I'm super excited about it. Today, we are going to be making the Moscow Mule. But before we jump into that, I just want to do a few announcements and a couple of different thank you messages real quick, and then we're going to dive in. So first and foremost, I've got to thank you for coming out, for watching this video, for being a part of this, for supporting, liking, following the Instagram and the Facebook, and subscribing to the YouTube channel. Really appreciate that. Really appreciate your support. Thank you. Secondly, I have to have a huge shout out to my friend and coworker Mackenzie for making the awesome logo that you've seen, The Casual Bartender. Thank you so much. It's really awesome. It looks great, and I'm super happy with it. So thank you. Really appreciate that. You do awesome work. And then finally, I'm going to throw a thank you out to my cousin Lisa and Ernesto for the awesome, very cool copper mugs that I have right now, which we're going to make our Moscow Mules in. I've been keeping them in the freezer because we want to keep them nice and cold, but look how awesome they are. Look how cool they are. They've got our initials on them. There's an N for Nick and a C for Caitlin. Also for Casual Bartender, which is pretty cool. So we've got our mugs, and we are going to go ahead and we're going to make some Moscow Mules. Now, before we jump in, I do want to make one quick announcement. This episode is obviously live because it's the inaugural episode, and I wanted to share the moment with you. But moving forward, every Thursday evening at 6 o'clock, I'm actually going to be not live. I'm going to be posting edited and pre-made videos, things that I'm going to be working on throughout the week with, I don't know, some cool transitions and maybe some text overlays. I don't know, we'll figure it out. It's going to be fun, it's going to be interesting, but there will be special live editions, but it's not going to be live every single show. So there's a change there. Again, I'm super excited to make this jump and this journey with you. Thank you, and please share this video, like this video, let people know what I'm doing, and hopefully also let's learn how to make a Moscow Mule, right? So these are some of the things we're going to need. Number one, we're going to need our copper mugs. You don't really need a copper mug to enjoy a Moscow Mule, but the traditional Moscow Mule is made with a copper mug, and I'll tell you why. Not the least of which is to keep the drink very cold. So we've got a copper mug. Next, we're going to need vodka of choice. Of course, my vodka of choice is the Grey Goose or Tito's in a Grey Goose bottle. I don't know. And we also need some limes because you're going to need some lime juice. You're going to need the ginger beer of your choice. I'm using Krabby's from my hometown liquor store, Creston. And we're going to need some mint sprigs for a garnish. What else do I need? I've already washed my hands. I'm pretty clean. I need ice. So what we're going to do is, the first thing we're going to do is fill these mugs with ice. And I probably should have done that before, but F it, we'll do it live, as what is his name? Bill O'Reilly? As Bill O'Reilly says, F it, we'll do it live. So I'm going to put some ice from my ice machine in the freezer in my mugs here. And then we'll get to making some drinks. So let's just fill these mugs with ice. If you're going to be making Moscow Mules at home, I would suggest filling them with ice before you start a live video. So let's go ahead and get some more ice. More ice. One thing you don't need for this is a shaker, which is pretty cool. Because the shaker makes a lot of noise and it's another thing to clean, but we don't have to do that. So we've got 2 mugs for our Moscow Mules because we are both in this household going to be enjoying a Moscow Mule. And they're filled with ice. So the first thing we're going to do is 2 ounces in each of vodka. So we've got our jigger and we're ready to go. So let's go ahead and pour our 2 ounces. Now, the Moscow Mule was made in the early 1940s when this guy, John G. Martin, had just previously purchased this little vodka distillery for $14,000 at the time. The vodka distillery in question was called Smirnoff Vodka. Yeah, Smirnoff. He purchased this distillery, and he had all this vodka, and he didn't know what to do with it. Next, we're going to do an ounce of lime juice in each. So I'm going to squeeze an entire lime into each of these mugs. Whoa. So he buys this vodka distillery, but he doesn't know what to do with it, right? So he goes to Hollywood, and he makes friends with this other dude who is actually a home brewer who brews his own beer, specifically ginger beer. And he doesn't know what the hell he's going to do with all these barrels and barrels of ginger beer that he's got in his basement. So they team up, and they're like, what if we mix the vodka and the ginger beer together, and we sell it like that? These guys are marketing geniuses, obviously. Dude on Smirnoff. So they go ahead and they put them together, but it's not over there. They meet this woman. She's a Russian immigrant. Her father sent her from Russia with all these copper mugs, 2,000 copper mugs. And he's like, you got to sell these mugs. And then she goes to America. She meets a guy. They fall in love. They get married, blah, blah, blah. And she still can't sell the mugs. Well, her husband meets these other two guys, John, and I forget John Martin, who does the vodka, and I forget the guy with the ginger beer's name. But they meet each other, and what they do is she partners up, she sells them the copper mugs, they produce the Moscow Mule, the vodka, and the beer, and they go to all these different bars across the country, and I think this is amazing. They take the copper mug and a Polaroid camera. They pour everybody Moscow Mules in the bar, and they take a picture of them with the Polaroids. They print 2 copies of those pictures, right? And they give one to the customer, and they take the other one to a competing bar, like across the street, and they say, hey, look at what your competitor's doing with these Moscow Mules. And then the Moscow Mule became what it is, this awesome, famous, wonderful cocktail, and I just think it's a marketing genius. Like, I don't know what to do with all this vodka. I don't know what to do with all this ginger beer. It wasn't Krabby's. It was homemade. And I don't know what to do with all these copper mugs. Let's put them together and make an awesome cocktail. So a little bit of history, a little bit of trivia for you. I think that's a great story. So anyway, we've got 2 Moscow Mules with 2 ounces each of vodka and a full lime squeezed into each of them, which is about 1 ounce of lime juice. Now what we're going to do is we are just going to pour our ginger beer into the glass and fill to the top. And that was almost a full bottle. That was a full bottle of ginger beer. So we're going to need our other one. Luckily, I thought ahead and I grabbed one already. So let's go ahead and pour the rest in there. And that's basically your Moscow Mule. But of course, what is a cocktail without a garnish? And today we are garnishing, we have 2 garnishes. One is the classic lime wheel, and the other is a sprig of mint. So we're going to cut our lime wheels, and we're going to pop those right on the edge of our glasses here. Bang, boom. And then we're going to just pop our little mint sprig right there next to the lime. And that, finally, we're going to use our bar spoon, which has been missing for months, and we finally found it in the dishwasher, hiding on the top shelf. It's been cleaned probably hundreds of times, so it's very sterile right now. We finally found it. I'm so excited. We're going to give it just a little stir, and then which one of these has my name on it? That's the end right there. And this, my friends, is the Moscow Mule. Cheers. Thank you so much. Cheers to a new journey in the casual bartender. Let's taste it. Whoa. That is delicious. Fantastic, wonderful, beautiful, love it. That is like the classic Moscow Mule. You can't go wrong. Today, it's like 70 degrees at 6 o'clock or 6:10 or 11. I'm going to sit outside in the sun in the backyard and enjoy a nice little Moscow Mule with Caitlin and the dog, and it is fantastic. Thank you so much. I'll see you next Thursday. I really appreciate you guys coming out. Cheers. Have a great rest of your night.